So I was just recording myself talking shit for ages and then realised I didn't even have the mic on. So anyway, I'm going to build some more stuff today. I want to build another bench to go underneath the bench that I've already got in my shed, just so I can pull it out. Like, it's not really, it probably won't go all the way under the bench because the bench that I'm putting it under I think is only like maybe 600 or 700 wide, whereas I want this one to be probably more like a metre wide, so it'll stick out a little bit, but at least that way it's pretty much hidden when I'm not using it, but when I want to I can pull it out and wheel it around and stuff like that. Yeah, so I found some stuff laying around the yard that I can use to build to save some money. So yeah, I'll take you down there and we'll have a look at what I found and I'll start building some stuff out. I've gone to really elaborate plans. I've written down everything that I want to do, so I'll show you my plans and then we'll go from there. Let's go build some shit. Build some shit. Build some shit. Hey, Zeus. Zeus. Hey, having a nap. It's actually the most productive thing you can do. Let's go to sleep. Oh, no, I actually need to go build some shit. What necklace doing? Ooh, look at that little necklace. Hell yeah, bruh. Look at all the fucking shit on my t-shirt. Yeah, how good's that? Marketing 101. What are we barking at? Hey? What are we barking at? Raw! Raw! So this is one of the benches that I built in my other shed. Don't mind the crap underneath. So yeah, just use racking. Chopped it up, put some stuff on it. A little vise in here. This is just where I chop up my steel and stuff. So I don't have it in my other shed, like in the workshop, because obviously it's messy. Takes up quite a bit of space too, because you gotta have your rack and all your shit. So I have this in this shed so that I can save space in my little workshop until I can get a big shed. So I've found these timbers. I'm not sure whether I'll use them or not, but I'll just break them down here because on the top shelf I don't want timber, because otherwise I build a bench before that and put steel on top, and then obviously once you start welding a bunch of stuff on it, you can catch the timber underneath on fire. So I might use a shelf for the bottom, but we'll see. And I found these two bits of racking out in the yard. They're a bit rusty, but hey, that's what it's all about. I got this bit of steel here. Oh shit. La 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 la, the radio's on. Yeah, the radio's off. Good job. Found this bit of steel. I actually got this cut up from my engine crane. We used to sit it on top of the engine crane so we'll put motors and boxes together. So it's quite thick. I'd say it's like 3mm, maybe 4mm. And then I found this other bit of racking left over. We'll use that. And then years and years ago I made these up when we used to do heaps of LS conversions for people. When you unbolt, like, because we used to put the car on the... Hello, I might as well. We used to put the cars on the racking, on the... We used to put the cars on the hoist. And then, like, drop the subframe out. But then in between doing so, if we needed time to roll the car around or whatever, we made these up that we could bolt in place of the K-frame, and then that way you could still push a car around. It was completely mobile without damaging anything, which was really handy. But we don't do that really anymore. Well, we do sometimes, so we only did a couple of them, and I made about 10. So I've got these spare. They've been sitting out in the yard for ages, so I'm going to use those as the bottom of the shelf of the bench so that it's all rolling. Hopefully, if I'm in luck, I built those exactly the same, which you would have thought that I would have, but I'm not sure that I did. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to build it to roll underneath this. So I guess theoretically I need to put a shelf in, because I'll need to put all this shit on the shelf. But then yeah, it's going to be quite low, so I want it to roll in underneath here, so that it's out the way, because this little shed's really just for my home stuff. I just fuck around here. So, but once my Rexy gets back from getting the engine built, my Rexy's going to be in here, so I don't really want to have... I want to be able to put the car in and close the shed and walk around the front of the car sort of thing, so I don't want this bench sticking out too far, but I'm kind of sick of not having a proper workbench, because I've just got like my toolbox that I put stuff on, and then this like thin little bench, but you can't really put much stuff on there. Oh, yeah. Cool. Cool, Magoo. Let's, I'm going to start getting my head around this, I guess, a little bit, turn the music back on for a while, and I'll get back to you when I figure it out.
Aye.
You don't have the guts to do what you want.
Doubt I was just recording this on shit quality, so talk shit, don't smack them out. This is sort of what I'm thinking so far. Had some more offcuts of racking. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'll weld those like that, except they'll be up higher, because when it flips around, all that steel needs to be level so that I can build a shelf on it. And then I'm thinking I'll use this for to raise it up, like for the legs, I guess you call it. And then the bench, I'm thinking that. So I was about to start welding before, and turns out, well, I hope the batteries in my welding helmet were flat, so I went and raced around everywhere, got some finally. Woolies come through the goods, so I'm about to replace them, and fingers crossed it works, because it's just weird that it randomly went flat, because usually the helmet will flash for a while before the helmet goes flat. So here we go. Yeah, the fucking boys. That's what we want. So the welding helmet's working, but how's this for fucking dumb luck? No, bad luck. That's not dumb luck. I think dumb luck's when something happens when it shouldn't have happened. Anyway, so I pop out for fucking half an hour to go get these batteries, and in that half an hour delivery that I was waiting for all day, that usually comes between 10 and 12, this is 4 o'clock, and the fucking guy comes, boom, straight as I'm out. Like, but I mean, here 10 minutes later I would have caught him. So delivery people, bloody useless. So update, this is where I'm at. I think I already filmed that bit, but there's a table. I've got to put a base on it, but I figured I'll get the top built and then I'll slide a base in. This is going to be the top. So the racking has, I don't know, you can see that edge is lower than this edge, and that's what I want. I just want the sheet to sit in flat. Yeah, that's coming along. I've cut all my angles. Just got to sit it all together now and weld it up, which I'll just tack it together. Make sure my sheet, which is that sheet there, the sheet of steel fits in here. Yeah, and once I know that, I'm going to put some cross braces across here, so the sheet doesn't bow. Bit of strength. Yeah, I'll get into that and I'll give you an update for today. I've welded the edges of all of those together. I've still got to weld the tops. I just want to sit on top and see what the difference is, because obviously I couldn't pick the sides of my bottom because I already had it, and then the sheet that I'm using for the top I already had it, so I sort of made everything to fit, but apparently it works pretty cool. I have a little bit of a gap either side, which is not the worst thing in the world. Yeah. So now, tomorrow, I've got to make the legs to then make it sit up. I've got to figure out the gap that it can be there and make it fit up underneath here, so I'll probably weld a post up here and then just go up inside that, which I'll use. Might use that stuff for, or I'll have some more blue, of this blue stuff, and I might use that as well. See what happens. Yeah, I'll give it some more thought tomorrow. But for now, that's me. I'm out and going to bed. So I ended up calling it last night because it was getting dark and cold. My back's fucked, so cold and me not so good. But yeah, so I've got this sort of set up. I'm just not sure whether, originally I wanted to sit this down so that the steel was actually a little bit lower than the edge of this, so that like if I can run something across and it's not actually touching the bench. I landed in bed last night, I'm not too sure about it anymore. I think I might raise it up so that the steel ends up level with the top. And then as far as my legs to lift it up, I'm thinking I'll use the same blue that fracking that I've used there, just so it all looks uniform. So yeah, let's get back into it. So I've decided that for the braces it's going to go this way to hold the steel up. I'm going to use this and I'm going to cut them in. So I'll cut this out both sides and cut this to width, and there's a welding like that, and that way I can set the height of the bench. I've got 5 of them, so I'll weld one down each end, one in the middle, and then I'll separate the gaps and put one in there as well. And that should be plenty. Because I can always, if I want to, which I probably won't, I might, but I can weld the actual sheet to this. I might tack weld the sheet to this, because then that way it's not going to shatter and move around and shit. But at least that way, like I've made it so there should be about a 3mm gap the whole way around the sheet, because then that way if I do weld it, like it's easy to just put the grinder in between there and cut the welds, pull the sheet off and put another sheet on if I ever need to change the sheet over, which I'm going to be doing a lot of welding on this bench, so that might happen quite a bit. So there we go. I'll cut up all these steel bits and start welding them in, and yeah, see how I go. So I've welded some of the braces in, put one right on the edge there, got one in the centre, right that side, so I've just got to put one in here, and one over there, and then we're good. I ended up deciding to run it level with, you can really see that, but I've ran it all level with this, because I figure that lip around the whole edge is going to help it hold it, and although it will be, although it's going to be, there's probably a 5 or 6 mil gap there, and my sheet's 3 or 4 mil thick, so it's going to be sitting in. It's going to be sitting in just a little bit from the edge. I figured, I'm not even sure whether that's thick enough anyway, so I might end up getting another sheet and put 2 sheets on top of it. But I have that option that if I want to weld something or build something and I don't want it sitting dead flush, I can sit it across. So that was my thought on that anyway. Could end up being a disastrous idea, but that's fine. Right, so I've welded in these extra supports here and here, so I reckon that'll be plenty, because it's supported by this edge here the whole way around, and it's supported by those as well. So I think that'll be more than enough. Now I've got to start doing the legs, but before I do that, I've made quite a mess in here doing all of this shit, so I'm going to push the welder away and push everything away and clean up and then start again, because I hate having shit all over the ground. I'll do that and then I'll come back to you. So I've decided to chop these off at the top here to make that square level, and then I'm going to weld my racking beam facing so that the square edge is here, and then it'll come up either side of that. Yes, and then I've decided to take these side lugs off here. I'm going to leave that one on because it's good for support for the timber sheet that's going to be on there. But I've decided to cut the other tops off, so I've just got to cut off that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there, and then I'll grind it all up, and then we're good to start making the legs. So if I measured right, I've got all my legs ready. I'm ready to go. I've decided I'm going to put them up level with the outside of the steel, and then I'll check out whatever I need to there and then set them up underneath that. I've done my technical cutouts, so yeah, so that's what I'll cut out. So the posts will sit in line with the steel here, and then the outside of the bench there, cut up, and then I'll sit underneath that. Right, so I've got the legs sitting there. Obviously they're not level, they're just literally sitting there. I've cut all the bits out for the legs to sit into. So I'm not entirely sure how level my shed floor is, but I'm going to check I'll check the actual level of that. And if it's roughly right, I'll just level these posts and tack weld them in. And then I'll bring that in here and sit that on the top, and then tack it all up, and then I'll weld it. But it's getting close. The only thing I guess I probably should do, will be easier to do before I put the top on, is maybe I'll tack these in place and I'll check to see that fits. Boom. It's a little bit more work, but I'll check to see if it fits. I'll sit it on. If it fits, I'll take it off, and then I'll cut my sheet of timber for here. Cut that, slide it on, and then I'll put the top on and weld it up, because it'll be easier to put that bit of timber in. I'll probably get it if I set it on a 45 anyway, and put it in after. I might do a quick measurement and see whether I can slide it in later on a 45 and then drop it in, because it probably would be better to leave it out so I can make sure I weld everything up. Yeah, I'll get into that and see how. Alright, update. Bench is looking a lot more like a bench. Tack my legs on, set the top on just to make sure it fits. This one was giving me a bit of grief, I don't know what's going on there. But apart from that, it worked pretty well. I'm just going to check it for level now, because my ground actually is a lot more level than I thought, so I'll check it all for level. Then I'm going to weld up the bottom of the legs. I really should weld the whole thing up, tack it and then weld the whole thing up with it on the top there, but I'm just worried that if I do that, I'm not going to be able to get my sheet in underneath. Oh yeah. I'll just sort of suss that out a little bit. That's looking good. Now I have a floor in it. It's looking good. So now it's going to get the top back on and weld it up, and we're getting close to being done. Well, I hope this turns out good, because I'm on my 3rd SD card. Yeah, bloody good, man. Yeah. Top's in. Looking good. Just got to run a weld, a couple welds maybe in here. Just to tie it down. I won't do too many because, like I said, I've made it so that you can remove that. Chuck another top on at any given time. The other reason I wanted to use these is because you've got all those holes, you can sort of make up things, like if you've got to bolt something in place to weld it up, you can do that. That's it, I've built this bench, it's come up pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to be definitely a handy thing to have around the shed. I still got to mount my vise to it, but I need to give some thought to that because obviously with it sliding underneath that bench there, I need to probably position the vise and to make, because I've already got a vise over this side, so it'll probably make sense for me to have a vise on that corner so that when it goes in, the vise is out and both usable. Yeah, but I've sort of run out of time again, as I always do. So that'll be a project for another day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment, give me ideas if you want to see me build something. Yeah, I've just got on with an engine building shop, and they're gonna give me all of their, I'm gonna buy it, but give me all of their cranks, engines, pistons, camshafts, all the stuff that they throw out. I said I'd give them good money for it, so yeah, it should be good. I'll be able to start building some cool projects and whipping out some cool stuff. So if you want to see me build something or have a crack at something, just let me know. So obviously it sits out, but I knew that was going to happen because I didn't want it to be as skinny as this bench. But I thought it's kind of good because you can have your stuff up here and you can slide this out and then to whatever you want, and you can sort of work on here and that bench at the same time. But at least it's tucked away nice and clean because, like I said, I put my Rexy in here a lot of the time, so I want to be able to drive the car in and then shut the door and go out the side door. Everyone's in here, eh? Everyone's fucking in here. Also, as always, give myself a quick plug. If you need parts, clothing, jewelry, decor, jump on the website because we've got heaps of stuff on there, and everything you buy helps me be able to do this sort of stuff and do the things I love doing. So I appreciate every single order we get. Yeah, if you jump on there and order something, it goes a long way. So I appreciate it.